Ooh, a fun one out there today, kids. Today we're going to be talking about, well, a tale of two action figures. One of them even has a tail. We're going to talk about Tigra from the West Coast Avengers, and we're going to talk about Hutt Slayer Leia. No, I'm not going to say it. She's Slave Leia. Sorry, I grew up with her as Slave Leia. I'm calling her Slave Leia, and there's actually a reason for that. Because let's talk about her history as toys. Let's talk about the fact that this is a character that we've gotten toys of for, well, at least the last 30 years, but we've been, knowledgeable about this character for 40 years now. Never had a toy of her as a kid, and I think that's a big reason a lot of us, besides the fact that it's a unique look, we always wanted a toy. It was a major look for a major character, and we never got an action figure, so when we finally got one in the Power of the Force 2 line, it was, a time of yay! In fact, I remember I saw a fist fight in a store when this figure came out. Glad I already had mine as I slowly backed away. The character would be revisited several times throughout the modern Star Wars Hasbro line, and even had gotten repackaged and, resculpted multiple times. So whether you wanted to buy Princess Leia with a glass or with an extra sitting pose, you had options. And, 12-inch toys, smaller toys. In fact, we even got a Black Series version, which has never been re-released, and that's actually part of the issue too. So this is actually, well, this figure and what happened with it is why we no longer get any Slave Leia merchandise. You see, obviously, this is a sexualized version of a character. Let's face it. It is a human female in a scantily clad outfit. I mean, come on, this toy is supposed to be provocative. But it's also a major character in a movie that has aliens and all sorts of sci-fi tropes. And, well, let's face it, metal bikinis are kind of a sci-fi fantasy trope going back to, Conan. And, well, getting Leia in this pose, in this outfit, this is a big part of our childhood. If we grew up with this movie, it was like the virginal white Leia from A New Hope had now, grown up and was now a woman. And, let's face it, a lot of us definitely, it literally became a stereotype of male fantasy. I mean, it's part of pop culture. So it's not something that's just, going to go away. Who knows what's going to happen at Comic-Con, but it's definitely been a big part of it. I mean, you could go to Comic-Con and, literally see an army of Slave Leia cosplay. So women are obviously embracing this. It's not like, they're ashamed. And the idea that Leia's sexualized, I mean, let's face it, all the characters are sexualized constantly throughout Star Wars. They're always in, hunky and damsel photos. I mean, look at the first movie poster. Luke practically has his shirt off and giant muscles coming out of him. So, yeah, it's not unique to Return of the Jedi, but again, well, all right, let's face facts. They literally stole Princess Leia in this outfit from Valerian, as well as 9,000 other things that are Star Wars that we think are originally from Star Wars. No, I'm sorry. They're all from Valerian. Han Solo and Carbonite, Darth Vader, the Millennium Falcon. They're all there, including when Laureline wears a metal bikini, just like Slave Leia. All right, go read Valerian. You'll enjoy it, especially in French. Let's jump gears and talk about the other figure, and that is Tigra. So a lot of people are asking, well, why can we get Tigra, but we can't get Slave Leia? There are no Slave Leia action figures or toys or merchandise made. And we've had, just like Slave Leia, many Tigras over the years. It's not like, suddenly this new Marvel Legends figure is the first ever Tigra. No, many versions, even very kid-friendly versions of Tigra. Because, what can we say? Kids do love animal people. Like when people and animals kind of, combine, it's a thing. Kids like it. So, yeah, Tigra's shown up, and she's shown up in Marvel Legends twice now. I actually keep meaning to buy this figure. It's been on my list for a while. I'm not a huge West Coast Avengers fan, but I've noticed I've been building more and more of them without even realizing it. So, yeah, maybe I'll wind up forming this team just like I did accidentally form the Avengers. I'll loop to that video at the end of this one in case you want to know what I'm talking about. All right, so why are we getting Tigra when we can't get Slave Leia? Well, because Tigra is based, one, on drawings, and Leia is based on an actual person in a movie, like a human being, a photographed human being. Tigra at least up to this point, has never been in live action and is just a doodle. So is this a Hasbro issue? Is this, is this a Disney issue? Exactly where is this edict coming from that you can't have Slave Leia, but Tigra is fine? Well, it does. It actually does come from Disney, and Disney has a lot of rules, and a lot of their rules don't apply to all of their properties. And they don't necessarily have one rule that, is for everybody. There's definitely picking and choosing based on the brand. This is for everything from, Mickey Mouse all the way to Avatar. So what exactly is going on with Star Wars, and why can't we get Slave Leia? Well, again, as I covered earlier in the video, Star Wars is treated very differently by Disney. And the bad publicity that, came about over the Florida mom that was angry about the Slave Leia, that has now led Disney to actually, yes, censor this look, not just on action figures, but things like classic artwork and posters are being redrawn without the Slave Leia outfit. In fact, she didn't even wear that Hoth outfit in Return of the Jedi, so what the heck? I know, it's like McClunky, like you're just editing out Slave Leia. I mean, yeah, Disney is basically like, that didn't happen. I mean, even though obviously it happened, it's in the movie. I'm sure, though, they would love to digitally remove it, because we all know Disney is a very progressive company.
Erased from existence.
But they kind of wish this wasn't around anymore. Maybe didn't exist. They can't erase it from existence, but they can censor merchandise. Tigra is not an issue for them because, well, she wasn't called a slave. It's not the scantily clad outfit that's the issue. It's the scantily clad outfit combined with the slavery. It's a double thing. And yes, slavery is terrible. It's horrible. No, human being should ever be in slavery. And I get why they don't like calling this that, but Tigra, again, based on a drawing and not a slave. Also, she's got fur all over her body. Princess Leia, scantily clad, based on an actual photographed, or, I say photographed, but filmed, per second, human being, actress, Carrie Fisher, and having her called a slave just does not jive with the very, very progressive focus that Disney is, it's, I don't think you have to be living in a cave under Iraq to know that Disney's been putting out a lot of content that people would say maybe goes a little bit too far, as far as what parents are comfortable with their kids seeing. So that is why we do not get, even though they changed her name, even though she's, Hutt Slayer Leia, still, look, we are just the core. She's a slave, and we all know it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped explain why we get Tigra and why we don't get Leia. Whether you're going to call her a Hutt Slayer or a slave, she is still a slave. And Tigra's also covered in hair, guys. You have to remember that. She's a furry character, like Cheetah in DCU. Go watch the Cheetah video too. I'll link that. See, right here. Watch the Cheetah video or watch the Avengers video. They're both good.